Hey guys, I was gonna let you check out this 1966 Chevrolet truck that my dad bought. Decent old truck. It's been put on a later model frame. It's supposed to be a frame from a 1972 model. Of course, it's 5-lug disc brakes. I'm pretty sure it's power disc brakes. Bed's pretty good. It's got some dings and dents. It's not perfect, but it's a short fleet side bed, and these things are hard to find that's not just rotted. The bed is not bolted to the frame. It's just sitting on here. This was somebody's project, and you know, who knows why a lot of these projects kind of get set aside. Some people run out of money, some people get in over their head. You know, they know just enough to get them in trouble, kind of like me. But anyway, or you know, maybe they moved on to something else. That happens to me a lot. You get fooling with one thing and you kind of gravitate towards something else. Who knows? But anyway, this was somebody's project, obviously, that they didn't finish. Now, it's got a running small block V8. It's supposed to have a little cam and stuff in it. It's 3-speed on the column. This truck supposedly runs and drives. Of course, you can see I drug it up on the trailer. I thought it was an automatic truck. When I went to pick the truck up, it was kind of backed in a barn with the nose sticking out, and the grass and weeds were up to about my waist. So I didn't get to do any videos on it, and I didn't really want to fool around in that barn much. It was real snaky, so I just hooked my winch cable to it and just drug it up on the trailer. So anyway, we're gonna jack it up, get the tires aired up tomorrow, the next day or something. I've got the pressure off my truck right now, so I'm just gonna leave it hooked up. I've got the trailer jacked up, so I'm trying to say it's not got a ton of pressure on my pickup truck. But anyway, just a cool old truck. I mean, again, it still needs a lot of love, but it's solid in all the right places. Around the window is perfect. The doors look good. They have a little bit of rust, nothing terrible. Of course, all these trucks, I believe, were gold inside like this, but I think this truck came out turquoise. You can see a little bit of turquoise paint here and there. So I think the truck's originally turquoise. But anyway, again, just around the windshield is perfect. I don't see a bit of rust around that windshield. Pretty good cab. I believe the inner rockers have a little bit of rust. There's a little bit of Bondo in that rocker on that side, but again, guys, it's an old truck. And these trucks are getting high. You know, well, as you know, they all are. But these short bed fleet side trucks are, you know, again, just getting harder and harder to find. If you want a project, you can buy them finished, but they're expensive because it costs a lot of money to fix one right. In my opinion, this truck would be suited more for a shop truck, but the cab is good enough. If you wanted to fix it right, you could. The bumpers are laying in the bed. So there's the bumpers. It's got what looks like a new fuel tank with it. Parts and pieces. Looks like maybe they've cut some of the old frame off here, or cut that off something. I don't know what. Looks like they've cut the old frame up for whatever reason. I don't know why they would do that, but anyway, there's that stuff. The steering and everything's hooked up, and it's a small back glass truck. I like the custom trim on these. I'm pretty sure the ones that had the custom cab or custom trim, whatever, were the big back glass trucks. I could be wrong. I don't know a lot about these trucks. I've had one of these before. I kind of got it in on trade with something else. I don't remember what, but I didn't keep it very long, and it was junk. But funny thing, some of the little things you can remember from when you were a kid, and I was very young, but I remember my dad had one of these trucks. I want to say it was a step side, but anyway, he had it painted white. And again, I don't remember a whole lot, but I remember going to One Way Wheel and Tire in Madisonville, Tennessee, and I remember that's when these saw blades kind of just hit the scene, and that was kind of the wheel to have at the time. Of course, I wouldn't give you $100 for a dozen of them today, but anyway, I remember looking at this saw blade wheel and another one. Some of y'all probably remember it. Instead of having the 5 little blades, it just had, 3 big blades. And I remember Dad kind of being indecisive on those two, asking me my opinion. And of course, I was just a kid. I don't remember how old I was, but I was very, very young. Thinking back to where we lived, that had to be back in the early 90s. But again, I can remember Dad had the truck painted. He put the wheels and tires on it. And I remember one of his old friends, I think he's passed now, Ricky Crow. I want to say he gave him $3,000 for that truck. And it's funny, I can remember those things. And my memory could be a little vague there. Maybe I'm not exactly correct on some of the figures, but I'm almost certain that was what he got out of that truck. And again, that was with new paint and wheels and tires. Best I could remember, but again, I was just a kid. But, you know, it's funny I can remember that, but if you asked me to recall everything I'd done yesterday, I probably couldn't. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I remember Dad had several of these old trucks, and my brother had a blue one. That was his first truck, and it was a 66, just like this one. Pretty sure it was a small back glass truck. It was a good looking truck, 400 small block, automatic. Pretty truck. I think that truck's in Sweetwater now, or it used to be. I don't know whatever come of it, but it was a short bed, fleet side. Daddy traded a 67 Camaro for that truck for my brother. The Camaro was supposed to be my brother's too. It was a 67 RS Camaro. Kind of a rough car at the time. But anyway, just kind of reminiscing on some of that. It's funny how something like this can kind of bring back some of those memories. I hadn't thought of my brother's truck in years, and I sure hadn't thought of that white one in a long time. But getting this one, I seen those saw blade wheels, and it brought back that memory. But anyway, again, a lot of the hard work's done. Going to have to mount the bed, try to line the fenders and stuff up a little better. They're bolted on, it's pretty close, but they need to be lined up a little better. The hood, you can see, is kind of strapped down, so it still needs a lot of love. I'm going to have to fabricate some brackets to get the bumpers to mount right. I don't know why they wouldn't have just used the regular frame. Unless this was a long bed truck, it probably was. I don't know for sure, but anyway, you can take the square body cradle and stuff out and put it in these trucks. As far as I know, there might be like one bolt hole off or something you have to drill out, but either way, the truck is what it is, and it will make somebody a cool old shop truck. You know, if you could just, even if you just try to rattle can it, maybe match the bed and the hood, or just probably better just to rattle can the whole truck. Maybe get old Mr. and Mrs. PIB a bag full of Walmart rattle can Rust-Oleum and just tell them to have at it. They got a knack for stuff like this. But anyway, hopefully, and maybe not this week, I don't know, I've got a lot to do, and I got to work this weekend at my regular job, so hopefully here soon we can get this thing fired up. I don't think the back brakes are working. If we could get the bed kind of mounted, just a couple bolts or something, and get the rear end, or get the rear brakes working, maybe we could run it up and down the road and let Dad kind of figure out what he wants to do with it. You know, we could go ahead, and I've got some DeVilbiss paint guns I can half-ass paint, so we could just spray it all one color, just scuff it up and spray it one color, or I don't know, maybe finish up the black, whatever. You know, we'll just burn that bridge when we get there. But first and foremost, get it running, see how the old motor runs in it, run it up and down the road, see how it's going to do, and get that bed mounted, and go from there. See if he wants to do something with it. Maybe I fall in love with it. I don't know. I doubt it. I don't need it. I got too much stuff. I need to kind of thin out myself. But in worst case on this truck, you could part it out. There's a lot of good parts here. The hood's good. The fenders are good. This one needs a patch on this side. The doors are good. They open and shut well. It's got a good fleet side bed on it. It's got a really good cab with a good title. I mean, the cab needs a little metal work, but it ain't nothing like a lot of them I've seen. Give me y'all's opinions, guys. What would you do with this old truck? Would you fix it right? I mean, you know, man could. This would make a nice truck. Or, again, my humble opinion, I would just make an old shop truck out of it, lower it down a little bit, maybe find me some steel wheels, maybe even the transport wheels or something, and just get it on the ground and, I don't know, have fun with it. You know, you can't really mess nothing like this up Worst case, you know, just start over. It's no big deal. All right, guys, I'll quit rambling. Again, give me your opinion on this thing. And as always, I appreciate you watching. We'll catch you on the next one. See you later.